Thank you once again for linking with us right here on the Observer. It's always a pleasure to have you on. On
It's always
Monday,
good to be on it.
thank you. On Monday, President Christine Kangaloo called out to duty 100 Trinidad and Tobago Volunteer Defense Force members to strengthen the TTDF capabilities to support the police. And that proclamation went into effect on Monday and is expected to come to end on February 29th of next year. And of course, many people welcome it, and I know especially, of course, those members of your chamber and yourself. But is it enough?
Good night again to the listening audience. It certainly is a step in the right direction. Members of the business community in San Fernando have been calling for strengthening the force of the TTPS through the conduit of the defense force, because that is where the rest of the armed forces reside. And we think that there should be a greater strengthening of the force. 100 is certainly a great addition, but certainly the sheer numbers that exist within the defense force, which is a few thousand, the exact number escapes me at the moment, can certainly bring greater strength and force to the TTPS than what currently exists. The TTPS seems plagued by persons on vacation leave, sick leave, and a variety of other reasons that they study leave, that they don't seem to be able to show up for work. And certainly the thousands that we have in the Army, which exists for two main purposes as far as they're aware, which is to enforce state of emergencies and to prevent a foreign invasion. And let's face it, we can't really prevent a foreign entity from invading us if they choose to do so. What we need to do is protect ourselves from ourselves, apparently, because of the youths that committing these deadly crimes with deadly fatal intent on a daily basis. I mean, 8 people murdered in a few hours just a couple of days ago is beyond ridiculous. What pervades in the society.
And I think people need to understand how important it is. I mean, we speak about it all the time, how it affects the business community. We had a statement from the Commissioner of Police, Earl Christopher, sometime, of course, a few weeks ago, saying that, private security may be needed for business people to when making large transactions. But then that's another expense. I mean, when you add on all the other expenses that you have and commitments, it's not easy when you're looking at least to get some sort of return on your investment for your business. Now, this will affect, of course, many things. People moving around, people feeling safe to come out and participate in the whole shopping experience, and of course, getting what they need for Diwali and Christmas. Give us an idea how much of a dent crime puts into as far as getting the consumers out and being part of, purchasing and what have you.
So what we have noticed is that shoppers have declined, of course, pre-pandemic, and of course during the pandemic, and of course as we are now post-pandemic. The numbers we see increased economic activity, increased commerce, and that is good news for the business community. But what we see also occurring is because of the fear that not only shoppers but pensioners, senior citizens, the common person on the street, the fear that they have for being robbed or maimed or even murdered for showing their purse at the cash register or going into the bank and being robbed as you exit the bank. That leaves a certain psychological anxiety in a citizen that he or she is afraid to shop free of fear to purchase goods or avail themselves of services during their daily commute. And it creates such a damper on business confidence in the country. It is people who have money are afraid to invest because they're not sure what will happen tomorrow or next week or next year. Because the murder rate continues to remain at figures. If I read the media reports clearly, that is almost as the same as last year, although we heard that the murder rate would be reduced a couple of months ago. And we're not seeing that reality. What we're seeing is increasing.
As we speak now, it's 484.
Wow.
Right?
So
now there are
that was almost on the same as last year.
Yeah, almost the same. Now there are folks who have made comments about the fact that there has to be some sort of inside job taking place here, perhaps with some of the banking employees. And people have made these statements. Have you been able to sit down with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago and lay out some of these concerns as to where some information may be leaking that puts many of these people who are doing transactions in a vulnerable state?
We haven't been able to secure a meeting just yet, but that is certainly on the calendar in the shortest time possible, especially as we're going up to the Christmas season when more people will be visiting the banks for cash transactions. Again, even the senior citizens, they are easy targets, business people. I mean, it's easy for persons to say, hire private security to go to do your bank deposits. But apart from the cost factor, it also identifies you as a high cash customer. And Trinidad being such a small, close-knit society, it can lead the bandits who are doing their homework extremely well to identify what business place this money is coming from, and then target that business place or even the home of the business owner, which we have seen has increased within recent months, especially in the last few months in this year, where business owners have been targeted at their homes, because we did listen to the commissioner and other senior superintendents of police who said, lock your doors, go home early, stay inside. And what the bandits have done is they have taken us to task and have invaded our homes to take that cash, take our valuables, take our jewelry, and whatever they can, your vehicles and so on. And they have been able to benefit from that leeway because it is only so much private security we can hire. And so they're not even afraid of the security cameras because they go in without masks and they leave. And everyone sees their faces and they don't seem to have a care in the world that the whole world sees their faces on social media and they escape in their waiting vehicles. And we know what the favorite type of vehicle they use. And we would have thought that all the security cameras, even going back to the banks especially, that the police would be able to apprehend some of these persons because of the camera footage that they would have when persons exit the bank and they are robbed literally across the street. Obviously, the cameras would pick up this footage. Why are the police not being able to detect these criminals? We have a detection rate of 13%.
Yeah, and one of the things you said, which is quite interesting, you said the number of criminals that commit crime are few in number. And when we look at the amount of people that live in this country, and when you look at the strength of the TTPS and the Defense Force, it really makes you wonder, because it's just a handful of people who are holding the rest of us to ransom.
Exactly.
To the fact that we can't seem to go about our business, as well as senior citizens are now caught up in a very vulnerable state where they go out and they're robbed and they're beaten. How challenging has it become for you to tell your members, those who are talking about migrating, leaving, and just closing up shop?
Well, it is unfortunately a serious discussion that is happening with business members about they becoming so disenchanted because the business environment is already challenging from an economic standpoint. And as now that we have the criminal element posing this serious imposition of not allowing persons to go about their business on a daily basis, that there's serious talk about persons wanting to leave and they wanting to not invest within businesses. I mean, apart from the large conglomerates, which continue to make profits even during the pandemic and even post-pandemic, that is an amazing fact to me. And the banking sector has made profits, means that there's a certain sector and percentage of this population that seems to bear the brunt of the economic challenges that we face. And there are those that seem to escape the harsh reality of the increasing cost of living that we face. And it is crippling certain parts of the society when crime is added into that equation and we can't seem to get out of it.
Yeah, but
what we're going to do? Christmas is knocking on our door.
Yeah, but any form of expression openly, and I want to say this, and I don't want to put you in a particular situation as far as that political aspect of it, but any sort of open expression is viewed as criticism. When you would agree with me that this move, as far as this joint patrol, should have been implemented, put in place for quite some time now. It should have happened. It shouldn't have to take us all that we're seeing here and witnessing as far as 8 murders in 24 hours and what's happening to reach to this point to realize how important the business community is. I mean, you have a minister, Paula Gopi-Spoon, saying that SMEs are the backbone of any economic engine. That's, I mean, think about it. And yet still, it seemed as though it was a matter of pulling teeth to sit down and get the stakeholders to have any sort of discussions. Do you believe that it should be extended even after February of 2024?
The San Fernando Chamber has made that point quite clearly in a very public way that this should continue until the crime gets back down to manageable levels. Of course, that's a very relative statement, but certainly it is way too high for them to stop in 4 months. This should just continue indefinitely, and we should have more of the armed forces on the streets with the police. We understand the army doesn't have arrest powers, and that's fine, but certainly they could act the physical strength of the patrols. A person's intention to do bodily harm to a person or commit a crime will think twice if he sees a patrol or police on the beat, as they say. And they will think twice about committing a crime if the police is on a street corner waiting to apprehend someone who commits a crime. And if that is done, then the psychological impression on the society will change, that we are safe and we can come out of our doors, increase shopping activity, increase confidence in the business, and then that whole image will change, that Trinidad is a safe place to entertain and hang out and purchase your goods and services without fear.
Since Monday, since this has gone into effect, have you spoken to members of the chamber?
We plan to have a meeting before the end of the week, of course.
All right.
And we wait to see where the 100 additional will be deployed. We expect, obviously, the hotspot areas, the so-called hotspot areas.
Right.
But we would like to see some of that in the downtown areas as well.
Nice. I'm going to give you a few seconds, your closing comments, and in that, please invite us to San Fernando, to all the viewers, people who are thinking about going out there and doing their shopping. Tell us, sell us, go right ahead.
You read my mind. That is exactly what my closing statement is, that Trinidad and Tobago come to San Fernando. Our team is bringing business back to San Fernando. That is our tagline from the San Fernando Chamber, where we have the best deals in the country. We have special promotions and discounts for members, not only of the business community, but patrons, where we'll be offering from 15 to 50% discount at most of the merchants once you enter our downtown area, and you can avail yourselves of these discounts and promotions. And we don't have, what I could add is, we don't have the wrecking service, which the mayor, present and past, they have upheld that for us to encourage shoppers to return, because I would always say that San Fernando had the most efficient wrecking service in the country, because as you blink your eye, your car would disappear. We don't have that anymore. But that doesn't mean that you should park illegally or in taxi stands, but certainly we have a more welcoming environment back into the city. We have changed some of the road networks with respect to the in and out flows of out and one-way streets. That encourages persons to come and go without that traffic congestion. The road network, as part of the waterfront development, is 95% complete. So that eases a lot of the traffic congestion that comes into and out of the city from the wharf angle. And we've seen activity. The parkade was open recently to assist with the parking situation. And we're seeing that level of interest coming back to San Fernando, and we're to encourage the country, as they're listening tonight to your wonderful program, that be reminded that San Fernando is becoming great again to what it once was.
It's ready
as a shopping hub.
It's ready, and it's ready, and it's open for business. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. Best of luck to you and your entire team, and I hope you have a bumper season. Keep up the good work, and please stay safe.
Thanks for your call, and Trinidad and Tobago, be safe out there.
Thank you so much.